Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to be looking at these three products here. All of them are faulty, so I'm just going to work through them one by one. So get yourself a nice drink, sit down and relax over the next 45 minutes or so, and let's see if we can get any of these three fixed. Hope you enjoy.
Retro Chinese alarm clock.
So here we have a little wind-up alarm clock, and it's really nice because it has the flip dates. And when I looked at it, I thought it looked modern trying to be vintage, but it's not. It really is vintage, and it's from China. I really love the colours on that. Anyway, I bought it as faulty. Unfortunately, it's not faulty. I'm not going to wind it up because the ticking is so loud on it. But basically, this was completely out here. This is just how you adjust the time. So this is going to adjust the, you know, on the little balance wheel. Then you're going to either make it run quick or slow, and where it is now it seems pretty much spot on. You can move this thing down here to do the different alarm times, and then basically you have this one here to do the look at that, how nice is that? Can't beat a flip. Look at that. Anyway, the only thing that I can see that's wrong is if you look at this temperature gauge down here, can you see it's split into two parts? So no longer is it together. And it doesn't make a difference if I go this way or this way, it doesn't kind of join together. Can you see? All this mercury or whatever it is on the inside needs to be down here. I don't actually know what it is on the inside. I'm thinking about a thermometer years ago. I remember when they used to smash, you were always told to keep well clear from it. But yeah, that needs to go down to here. Now apparently, if you tap them, they can join together, or if you heat it up, it can join together. So I need this to get up to, you know, if I start heating it with my hot air station, I'm wondering whether it will go up to there, join. And once it joins, it should pull it back down. I'm thinking, or now that the air bubble's gone in between them, will that air ever be able to escape back past it? Not too sure, but that's what we're going to try and do. So, I don't know how this thing comes apart. I see there's screws here and here. That looks like for the bezel. Maybe that will uncover other screws. We've got two screws at the bottom here. So I think to begin with, I'll undo everything and see what happens. See, they haven't dressed the screws there. You see that? So I don't know how much of a quality product this would have been originally, because if it was me, I'd put them all vertical and then you've dressed them. So, but mind you, they might then be loose. And to be fair, 99% of people don't see stuff like that. Now I'm hoping it's not old enough to have radium in it, so it should be okay. Wow. Okay. That's glass. Ooh, look at that. Is that stuck to that? Brilliant. I'm going to put this down on the floor so I don't smash it. How nice is that blue? In fact, it even looks better blue all the way across. That's lovely. Right, okay, so this is the bit we're concerned with. I wonder if I take it out, whether I'll be able to undo these two clips so I don't have to worry about burning this up. Shanghai, China. So I'm going to have to lift these up a little bit, I think, to then release this to the side, or that wheel's going to be in the way when I push it. I think I'm going to have to lift these up just a tiny little bit. Would be nice to see the inside of it, actually. Do these all unscrew? Oh, of course, they're opposites. So it's righty to loosen it, not lefty. Will they come out? They'll come out. Excellent. Woo! Now look at that. Isn't that lovely? Oh, look at the big spring. And that, how nice is that? So what turns? Hold on, does this turn? What turns to give it the alarm? What makes that alarm move up and down? Oh, I think it's just on this little, there's a toothed gear here. And I think what happens is, this is under tension. Can you see it wants to spring back? And I think when that tooth gear turns, it just, see this one here? This one. I think when that turns, that's what makes the ding ding ding. I think. When I bought it, it said it was overwound, but clearly it's not. Now, where did that come from? There, I presume. I've got to look back at the video for that one. I wonder what you'd need that for. Oh, sorry. That's to do the speeding up and the slowing down of this little balance spring here. You see here, this is a balance spring. So when that goes, can you see it's ticking? Yeah. Right, okay. So now we've seen the inside. Let's try to take off this here. Seems to be a lot quieter at ticking when it's out than when it's all encased. Just lifting each of these up. You know what, I'm not going to be able to get it off because of the hands. Maybe I'll just heat it up. Let me just see if I can lift this side off it. Oh yeah, they've got little fingers there that's bent over. So I wonder even, let me just put my hand on here and let's see if it's increasing. Yeah, there it goes. Whoa, that scared me. I thought I cracked it. No, I don't know what temperature my finger's going to get to. Well, it seems to have stopped around there. So why don't I try to heat it up from a distance? This shouldn't burn if I get my hot air and do it from a distance. It's just at 100 degrees Celsius. So if I keep it at a safe distance, we should see that go up. So basically that's what I'm going to be doing, yeah? So let's zoom in now. And let's see if it joins. Hope I don't bubble up the paint. It's going up. I'm just going to do it in stages because I don't want it to get over hot. Come on. Is it going to push that air out of the way? Still going. I'm just going back and forth on it. Oh, I don't think it's going to be able to go any more. Yes, it is. It's going. It's going. Come on, join. I'm really worried that it's going to crack. So this top is filled right up with red now. Come on. Oh no. I don't think it's going to go anymore. Come on, come on, come on. It's not going. Oh, I don't want it to crack. That's pretty warm. That might not be an option. See, I'm thinking if the air bubble's there, then how is that going to force past it? See, if I could take it out, I could put it in some water, couldn't I? Would that be safer, I wonder? See, that didn't blister or burn up at all. It's just that it seemed to grow quite quickly, and then it seemed to stop for that last bit. I don't know at what temperature these would kind of burst at. Or crack. I don't know what temperature the glass will crack at. Well, let's think about this sensibly a minute. I've got it to 100 degrees Celsius, so when I hold it here, it should climb at a steady rate, should it not? And then if we get to here again and it really starts to slow, then I know maybe to take it off. Let me give it one more go and be more brave. Just climbing rapidly. Climbing rapidly, climbing rapidly, climbing rapidly. Has that joined? Has that joined? No. Let's be brave again. Take it off. No, it's still there. Right, let gravity help. Mind you, this is going to be in a vacuum, so it shouldn't make a difference, should it? Let's just try this. That's definitely joined. That's definitely joined that time. Let's see now when it separates, is it going to go down in one go? Come on. No! Why is it not going together? Okay, let me do it again with gravity helping, and this time I'll flick it when it's joined. Right, now let's flick it. No! I can't get it to join. Right, let me look online. I would have thought that once they touched, it would have dragged it down, and clearly they touched.
A little while later, is my voice annoying you yet? I hope so. Vince the fool has spent $20 on ChatGPT and doesn't know how to use it.
Right, okay, apparently you can get alcohol thermometers as well, not mercury. And it looks like the red may be alcohol, I don't know that. People are using the heating method, but they're doing it in a pan, not with a hot air station, a pan of boiling water. Or they're using a cooling method, which is where you've got dry ice, can't use that. Or other times, where they're bigger thermometers, they're just literally kind of whipping it like that. And then that will get them together. So, in fact, thinking about it now, when my mum used to take my temperature when I was a kid, I'm sure you used to have to shake it. And would that be to get it back down again? Yeah, maybe, yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is I do have to take this out. So I'm going to try to undo those fingers at the back to release these bits here. So I just need to undo the fingers at the back and then work them out, and then the little glass thermometer will be able to be worked on either in a pan of water, or maybe I can just shake it and it might start working. Anyway, I'll give a shout out to my mate Vince Massive when I'm doing that. The Massive members this month are kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeebs.com, DJ VG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Bazatu, Russ Melanson, Gaspar Heller, Rickard Berglund, Soul Reaver 555, Shamsa Al Sawadi, Stuart Park, and Stephen from the Broken Past over on YouTube. So massive thanks to each and every one of you. So at long last, I have this thermometer about to pop out. Result, got it out. Right, so we can open these up. There we go. Now I can try the tapping technique. Ooh, happy days. Right, so tapping technique, how do I'm not going to be able to even get that up there, am I? No, that's not going to fall down there because there's going to be suction. Let's put it into a pan of... whoa, nearly broke that there. Okay. There's cold water in it at the moment. I'm just going to put it on boost to get it heating up really quick. But then when I feel it going lukewarm, I'll then turn it down a little bit. The bit at the top now seems a lot smaller than it was before. It's completely filled up the little expansion bit up the top. So now, okay, it's gone to luke already. So I'm going to go down to, let's go down to 8 and let's see what happens here. So I've got to make sure I don't touch the bottom of the pan because that's going to be hotter than the water. Can't even see because it's not against a white background. Let's zoom in. Right, it's just at the top of my thumb now. Right, I can see it's got a couple of millimeters to go. How warm is this? I'm going to lower it down a bit. Well, I mean, it's reached the top, but has it reached the top? I don't know. Nope. See, if I knew the glass could withstand 100 degrees Celsius, then I would just leave it in there boiling away. But I don't know what it's going to shatter at. Right, I'm going to try to shake it now. No, it's still separated. Why is it not joining? It's still separated up the top. That's definitely joined. Yeah, it's getting very warm now. I'm going to turn this off. Bring it coming up now. To me, it looks like it's joined now. Trying to flick it when it's in the water. See, I think that air bubble's there, and I can't see how the liquid's going to get past the air bubble. Come on, bring it down, bring it down. Oh my word. Yes, I've done it. I've done it. Look. Result. Oh my word. Fantastic. Now I'm just going to get my eye loop, make sure there's nothing left in that top bit. But can you see now? There's nothing up top. Doesn't look like it with the naked eye. Oh, there's the tiniest bit. I'd have to show you with the microscope. There's the tiniest bit there. Let's see if we can get that bit back. So I think it was the flicking it when it was up there that did it. And maybe even doing it horizontally as well. I'm going to rotate it while flicking it. See, unless I can get all of it down, it's not going to give an accurate temperature. Not that it really matters, it'd just be nice to have it working as it should be. Well, I'm just going to use the eye loop to see if it's taken that last bit down. No, it's in the little point. You see where it goes to the point here? Unless it was always there. I mean, something like that's only going to account for probably not even 1 degree. And depend on the angle that you look at the clock, it's not going to be completely accurate anyway, is it? You know what, maybe that's a bit stained from when they did the actual manufacturing. Maybe it kind of got burnt in here. I'll zoom in and I'll show you what I mean. Right, do you know what? This is perfect for the yellow mat because you can see it so clearly. In fact, I don't even need to zoom in. You can see this looks like a kind of a pigeon, yeah, with the beak here, and it's got a little eye. So I'll zoom in to show you what I mean. There, can you see there? So there's just a tiny little bit stuck up there, but it is at the very point. It does look like a pigeon, doesn't it? Pecking. I don't think I'm going to be able to retrieve that bit. But anyway, you can see now. How good is that? Fantastic. It really does look like a pigeon. Anybody remember Pigeon Street? Long Distance Clara? Who else was in it? It was one of the most irritating cartoons ever from memory. But yeah, just jumped back into my head now, 40-something years later. Anyway, I'm going to put this clock back together. I'm going to get a nice good clean, get the glass all clean, give everything a little bit of a rub because there's kind of grime on the back where it's been wound up for all these years. And then I'll show you at the end, and also we'll compare temperature to what my room thermostat says.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. springs, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
There we have it. Beautiful in a disgusting plastic way. But it really is something. And I think it is probably actually made pretty well. I mean, the very fact that it's still ticking all these years later when something like this would be unlikely that it's ever been serviced, I think is shows that the quality is probably okay. It's nice, isn't it? That blue really sets off the other colours lovely. And temperature-wise, if you have a look there, it looks to be around about 20-ish degrees Celsius. And if we compare that to this here, you will see 19.7. So it's accurate enough.
My BittBoy.
We've got a little BittBoy here. This featured, I think, in my...
Don't worry, your speakers haven't broken or your headphones haven't broken. It's me that's broken. Yet again, I've managed to start recording without plugging in my 3.5mm jack that goes to the microphone. So I'm relying on the microphone that is on the actual camera, and I've had to lower that one down in order to get the levels right on my external microphone. Hence the reason you can barely hear me. Apologies, I don't know what's going on in my head. It seems to be happening about once a month. I think it's because I'm thinking about the fix rather than thinking about the filming, which is weird because my job is actually a YouTuber and not a fixer. But you see, my passion is with the fixing rather than the filming. All this filming and editing I can easily do without. It's just a necessary evil to try to get the videos out there so you can see. But if somebody else was going to be filming me and editing, I would be the happiest person alive. So my joy comes from messing about with things to fix rather than the camera side of things and the editing side of things. I can't tell you how much I hate editing. Can't afford to get an editor in, and also my videos are uneditable. You know, if I've got 4 hours, 5 hours of footage, can you imagine how much that's going to cost me to get an editor to do it? And also, they need to understand electronics and stuff and understand me, which isn't an easy task, in order to see how I want the videos to be, what gets included, what gets cut out. And with all the voiceovers and stuff, it'd be a nightmare. I'd be spending more time speaking to the editor than just trying to do it myself. Anyway, this is my BittBoy from the very first ever trying to fix video all those years ago. And it had a faulty USB port, a charging port. But I couldn't do it back then because my soldering iron was too big. So I think I kind of just used a bit of tape or something to put pressure down on it in order to get it to work. Then a few years later, I revisited it when I had my Chinese soldering iron, my solder station, which I used for years and years and years. And I managed to get the port back on. I struggled a bit with it. It wasn't easy. But as far as I know, this was all up and running. But recently, I've been having a bit of a clear out of stuff. In fact, at the Classic Car Show in Nebworth, I had a whole boot full of old fixes that I gave away to people that come along and visited. So thanks a lot for making the effort to come along and visit me in the car. But with this one, when I pulled it out, it wasn't charging, which is weird because when I put it away, it was charging fine. But you can see with the amp meter on this beginning bit of the video that it isn't drawing anything. So clearly it's not working. Anyway, when I take it apart, the soldering doesn't look great, but it is actually, when I use the tweezers and do a little push test on each of the pins, the legs, they are actually all okay. So I think it's the port itself that's failed rather than the soldering. I think the actual inside of the port has failed because often when ports go, people will push in the lead harder and harder and wiggle it around, and I suppose there's more chance of breaking the port when you do that. So it isn't a big deal. I don't even care too much that the audio's gone from this part of the video because all I'm doing is soldering in a new USB port. So I have a little pack of them that I got from Amazon or eBay, and I just need to find one that looks similar. I can't get one that's identical because the end of the port looks a little bit different, but it's fine because this port is like sandwiched in between the case. So it's not like the Nintendo Switch Lite where it goes through the case and you have to file it down. This one's sandwiched in between, so if it's a slightly different design, it's not going to make any difference. I'm not quite sure when the audio kicks back in properly on this video, but basically I take the old port off using solder wick, and then I put the new port on. It really is as basic and as simple as that. But still, it needs fixing, and these ports, when you buy them in a kit like this, I'm sure each port would only equal about 10p, if that, because you get the whole kit for maybe £8 or something. And to me, there seems to be at least maybe 100 ports in there. So it's not a huge amount of money. It's well worth fixing if you enjoy it. And I do enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot more than the filming side of things and the editing side of things. My joy comes from the actual fixing of the product. So apologies about the audio, but at least it will quicken up the video a little bit. I'm just going to start playing this video again from when the audio kicks back in normally. Well, I've checked and the audio doesn't kick back in until I stop recording when I leave this down to charge up, and then I realise that the cable's not plugged in. So basically, yeah, I'm finishing off the port in this bit here, and then I just put it all back together. I do test it, and it's working multiple times. Every time I unplug it and plug it in, it works. So let me just show you after it's been charging for about half an hour. Well, it's been about 45 minutes later now, and you can see that it's dropped nicely in the amp, so clearly it is taking a charge. Every time I unplug it and plug it in again, it starts charging, so I know the port's working okay. And it comes to life. Just trying to find something that I might recognise. Super Sprint, was that like the Grand Prix one? Let me have a look at this one. Where you had to spin the wheel. It was a lovely wheel that used to spin lots. I think it might have been on the arcade. Let's have a look. Oh no, this is, hold on. Oh, I used to have this on the Spectrum. Oh yes, I remember. Oh, that's lovely. I remember going around the corners like that. I'm sure I had this on the Spectrum. I thought it was called Pole Position. Good two-player game. Let me see if I can catch up. Used to be nice because you try to bash your mates going around the corner into, you know, so they go into the side. Oh no, I can't get past them. Go on. Go on. Go on. One lap to go. Result. Was it worth fixing? Not if you had to pay someone, but for a little bit of braid and probably spending 10 or 20p on a port when you buy them in a kit like that, I think most definitely. So there we have it.
Bose SoundLink Mini 2.
Here we have a Bose SoundLink Mini. Now my son loves this speaker, but it failed around about over a year ago, I think it was. But it wasn't a problem because Haley sent me a little Beats red pill thing, and he's been using that since. But he asked me if I could get this one fixed. Now I did buy a battery for it. Basically, I think I fixed this in one of my videos years and years ago, and I think, was it a firmware problem? And then I think, wasn't it also a battery problem as well? Anyway, it failed again, but it was quite a while after. I bought this, but it was in February 2023, and I've only just unpacked it now. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping the battery will be okay. So we've got to solder this, by the looks of it, into here. So now, so obviously you lose all your serial number and stuff with it because this is a, you know, all in one thing. Now, are you going to come out? Well, it put up a great battle coming out, but the thing is, I have previously changed the batteries in here. Not changed over the battery itself, changed the cells in the battery, the 18650s, and I've packed them with hot glue.
I'm not sure if I did this on video or not. I think I did, but it might have been part of a kind of, job lot video where you do numerous different things in the one video, a bit like this one here. So I can't always find what I've done in different videos when there's like 8 different items getting fixed into one video. Anyway, this should just pop out normally, because normally the back case would be all glued to it. But in this instance, it's just been all hot glued together. So I'm trying to kind of pry it out, but the plastic is a little bit wedged in, so it's more destructive. But it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to be using this battery pack anyway, because this battery pack has failed. So after about 5 or 10 minutes of prying, eventually the battery pack does come out, but it comes out in multiple bits.
Oh, there's 2 batteries down here, isn't there? Right, I'm going to have to... Yeah, this was one of the ones that Marcel sent over, one of the batteries that go into these little mini power banks here. So yeah, this was definitely done by me. I'm going to put some IPA around here to try to loosen that up. Pure, I just don't want anything to short, now that I've been prying in here, I don't want anything to short. So I just want to get the batteries out, then I can tape them up, I know they're safe. They won't be getting reused. But until I can dispose of them down at the tip, I want them to be safe while they're in my house. Right, this should... I'm going to put some gloves on. That should eat away at the glue there and make it nice and loose against the plastic. Look how that's so nice, the way it comes off with the IPA. Look at it. It's unbelievable how it comes off with IPA. Because you'd be picking away at that for hours if you were just used to use tweezers without IPA. Once a bit gets under, it just lifts. There we go. And I wonder if that's an original one down in here. There we go. No, I replaced this one as well, I think. Right, I'm just going to measure the 2 batteries, because maybe it's the little board that failed. It had a lot of use though, so I think it's probably the batteries. 3.7 might well be okay. And 4, wow, the batteries actually are charged. So there must have been something on this. That's, oh no, I hope it's not something else. I hope it's not something in the actual thing itself which is not taking the charge. Don't think I'll reuse them anyway. Well, I'm just going to tidy up this mess. Alright, this is nicer to work on now. So I think what I'm going to do is, let's try to rest that up here. And this is really in the way, this thing. Let me get an elastic band to get that out of the way. Oh, one right here. Now, Let's unsolder this and hopefully I might be able to see what's going on. So I can see that here one of them's red. Is that the case with the new one? No, it's not. Oh, these are soldered right the way through. Let me try to clean them up. I'm just going to take my gloves off in case I end up burning my hands. There you go, it's moving this side. Let's get it out this side. There we go, excellent. Got that one. Right, let me get some braid now. I'm not sure if there's any wires left in that or not. Get a little bit of braid. A bit of solder wick. Let's see if the holes will reappear. Well, they do reappear, but it takes me a good 4 or 5 minutes doing this. The board soaks away quite a lot of the heat, and also it's a kind of confined space to work in. So I'm using flux, I'm using solder wick, but the solder's quite happy to stay in the wires, in the holes. So I managed to clear a couple of them, but not all 4 of them. But it isn't that big a deal, because all I have to do is, on the new battery, all the wires are kind of stuck together. They're like glued together to make them look nice and neat. The odds of me pushing through 4 wires when the holes are not fully clear are very, very slim. But I can just peel the wires away from each other and I can push them through one by one. But annoyingly, I've measured the voltage on this new battery and it's not showing anything. On the board, the outer 2 pins are negative and positive. So the positive is on the right hand side and the negative's on the left. And when I go onto those 2, it's not doing anything. But I'm not overly worried, because maybe the board has to liven up the battery. Does that make sense? So I know sometimes, I think it's on laptop batteries, they won't actually give you a voltage until they're connected into the actual laptop, and then the laptop enables the battery. So, you know, we have got 4 wires here, so it is quite believable that we have negative, positive. Maybe one of the wires is for temperature, and then maybe one's to enable. So I'm not overly worried. Anyway, I do it one by one. It's not easy, but it is possible. Maybe if you were to actually take off the speaker grills, you would have much more access. If you just took the board out, it might be easier. The problem is, this is all nice metal. The beautiful thing about this product is the way it looks and feels. And if I end up having massive pry marks around the speaker grill, then I won't be overly happy. So I'm persevering doing it this way, even though it's a lot more awkward, because at least I know the product will still look nice at the end of it. And I know I will be able to do it. It's just a little bit more time consuming. So I'm going to show you now after the wires have been soldered in, and also after it's been cleaned with isopropyl alcohol. Okay, when I look from my eye loop, I can see that each of these bits here do have solder in each of the holes. So the solder has wicked through from this side up into it, and there's no shorts on this side. This one here is particularly blobby, but it's just there's too much solder on. The solder has gone into the hole and it's not shorting against that or that. So it should be okay. So let's put this back in, and then we'll charge it and see if after a while it starts charging properly or not. I won't do up any screws just yet. In fact, I should be able to do it from here. Let's try this one. Right, we want to see it draw something on the amps. Before it drew nothing. That's good. That's good. I don't like the way it keeps going back to 0 though. Flashing a red light. I can't even remember what it's supposed to be. Not confident. I don't like the way that keeps going to 0.
Well, surprise, surprise, flashing red light is not good. That was the problem with this SoundLink Mini when I first of all got it. So I don't know if some are more prone to it than others. But you know what? Think about those two cells, 4 volts and 3.7 volts. There was nothing wrong with that battery pack that I fixed previously. For some reason, this SoundLink Mini went into some weird state, just like it did when Marcel sent it over all those years ago. It had a flashing red light fault. And how I fixed it before was by going to the Bose Updater app and then updating it, and then it started to work. So basically, let's connect this up to the laptop. It's the same laptop that I used all those years ago. It will still have the app on it. And let's see if we can push through an update. Basically, that fixed it before. It went from a flashing red light to an amber light, and then it started to work for a good long time after that, until I had to change the batteries because I think it just reached the end of its life. And then it worked for a good amount of time after that. Then it stopped working, which I presumed was the batteries. But now I know it wasn't. It just needed to be plugged into the Bose Updater app again and updated. So it's weird why they throw a wobbly every now and then, because I think most people would think it was battery related. If you're plugging in and it's not charging and it just stays on a flashing red light forever, you're going to assume the battery has failed. What a shame. Okay, weird thing is I keep trying to click on Bose Updater. This is the same computer that I used before. And then it comes up with deleting 21 items, and then it doesn't seem to do anything until I click on it again. Anyway, let's connect up the speaker, which is still doing the same thing with the flashing red light. And let's see what's happening. Maybe when I connect this up, it will recognise it. Excellent, it's recognised it. It did that last time in my video. In fact, I've got the Bose Updater down here. Start Updater automatically during login. Launch Updater web page. Let's do that one. I can hear the Chinese clock really clicking in the background. Bose Updater, just a moment. New Bose Updater available. Right, okay. I've got to agree. Of course, I have to agree to all three. How it works. Run the Bose Updater installer and make sure the app is successfully installed. The app should be visible in your system tray at the bottom of your screen or at the menu bar at the top of your screen. Okay. Right, installation is successful. Right, it's recognised it there. That's good. So, uh-oh, your product is up to date. If you'd like to update a different product connected to your computer, if you're done, you can disconnect your product and quit the app. Well, that's not good. Right, let's just see if it's made any difference. Let's plug it into here and see if it's now drawing anything more. No, it's still doing a 0 to 0.02 and 0.03. Ah, that's not what it did before. Right, let me get out of that. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this working. Maybe the battery has failed. Last time I just had to update it and it started working then. Right, I'll mess around with it for a bit, but I don't think I'm going to be successful. It says here, there's a message, and it says, cheers, this is on my video, cheers mate, by Daniel Jeffrey. Had the same issue, red flashing light. My firmware was already up to date, version 1.14, which is my one, version 1.1.4. And it says, but there was a sneaky way to reinstall it. With the Bose Updater open in your browser, press ADVRL
up arrow, down arrow on your keyboard. Whoops. And it shows an advanced menu from where you can force it to reinstall the firmware. Right, okay. Let's see if this works. Daniel Jeffrey. So, A, D, V, whoops, up and down arrow. And it shows an advanced menu. Let's do that all at the same time. A, D, V. Do you have to do it separately? A, D, V, up, down. Oh my word. Oh my word. No way. Look at that. Advanced mode. Update software to current version. Right, okay, well, let's go through that now. 1 second, what's it say here? Make sure the battery is charged. Can't do that. Do not disconnect during update. If your product is not updated, contact us. No way. So is there a... yeah, so I can't click on anything else. That's the only one. Right, well, let's go to update now and see what it's going to do. Update now. Isn't the internet great? That disconnected. That's what it did before. So I had to do it separately, so it was A, D, V, up arrow, down arrow. That's crazy. 12%. I wonder now if it's going to work. So last time what happened was, after about halfway, when it got to 50, I don't know what percent it was, but roughly halfway, this went to amber. So that noise there is the exact reason why I can't actually display the Chinese clock. The ticking's just too loud. Don't know if you can hear it there, but for me, there you go, it disconnected. Connected, is it going to go to amber? Come on, please. Please go to amber. Come on. 59%. 60%. I think last time it went to amber on here. See, maybe you do have to have a certain amount of charge on that battery. If I had tested the battery as soon as I got it from eBay, I would have then known whether it has charge on it when it comes to you or not. Obviously, this is a 1.5 years later. I'm wondering now, oh my God. Oh no, hold on. Oh, it made a noise. Now we've got a red light. That's good, but it's a steady red light. That's good. It's not flashing anymore. We're at 76%. I'm wondering now if there was anything wrong with my last battery. Well, isn't the sharing of knowledge just great? So a massive thank you to Daniel Jeffrey, because I don't think I would have got this working. Maybe if I had Googled it, maybe it's quite common to have that ADV up, down, arrow little trick. And it makes sense, it's an advanced menu, and ADV is the beginning of how you spell advanced. So it does, you know, it seems legit, doesn't it? Anyway, I charge this up. When I do that, it has a solid red light. It actually takes about an hour of charging before it goes to an amber light, and only then does it jump up to 1.5 amps. It stays at 0.09 and 0.1 amps for ages, and then it jumps up to 1.5 amps. Then the charge starts going into it quite rapidly. After maybe 2 hours after this point, it's got up to 50%, maybe 3 hours actually. It was quite a while before I managed to get a good charge into it. I'm just going to jump forward now to the end of the video just to show you it working with 50% battery. And as of the time I'm editing it now, my son has this set up in his room again, and it's working perfectly. So the Bose SoundLink Mini
2 works again, which is fantastic. It's just annoyingly, I don't think there was anything wrong with it a couple of years ago. The cells that I put in look to be still fine, so I think if I'd used a Bose Updater app then, it would have worked. It's just because it had been working for a couple of years or 3 years or maybe even longer, I just assumed the battery had gone faulty. But no, somehow it went into this stupid thing where it needs to be updated again, even though it's already up to date. Really, really bizarre. Anyway, let me cut to the end of the video. Okay, it's been a couple of hours later now, and check this out.
Battery 50%. Connected to Galaxy S10.
Which is this one here. I forgot how good this sounds. It really does pack a great punch, really nice, crisp and clear for the tiny, tiny size of it. So my son's going to be well happy with that. I will charge it fully up to 100%, but it is working just fine. So there we have it. Out of all of that, the one I enjoyed the most was definitely this little clock here and that little temperature gauge. I thought that was quite nice. But all of them are nice in their own way and well worth fixing. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a massive thumbs up, and hopefully you will see me very soon in the next one. Look at that. It's amazing. It's just a shame it's so loud. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon.
Vitamins and history books, psychology and a different way to look at it all. 'Cause my perspective is broken. If suffering's a way to earn your keep, I better start putting miles on my feet. But I'm so tired of wandering. Yeah, I'm lost, but I'm living. Yeah.